Hi, everyone. It is Samantha here again on Embracing the Divine Feminine. And I'm so excited. I wanted to come in here today to talk about raising your frequency and how it can change your life. Okay, so there's a couple things. Of course, I use sound healing to work with frequency and vibration. So, vibration and frequency, let's talk about that. So, everything vibrates already. So, this desk is vibrating at a certain frequency, and this mouse and everything vibrates at a certain frequency, even our organs. Okay. So, what we're always trying to do is raise our frequency. So, what does that mean? That is how often the vibration oscillates, right? So frequency is how often, and the vibration is what is it set at, right? So anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit more about this. I know it's been a while since I've been here, but I really want to work on helping you guys figure out how to keep your vibration up and your frequency. Okay, those go hand in hand. um, I have a little chart here, and I have added this to the book. Like, I am writing, or I have contributed to a book that will be coming out in the fall. And I was part of the energy tab, I guess, or chapter. And so here is what I have. Okay, I'm going to download or put this on the site as well so that you can see. So one thing I want you to see here is shame, guilt, lack of interest, grief, fear. All of these things are low vibrating. So you can see that you are more contracted when you're vibrating in the lower shame and guilt. So if you are trying to raise your vibration, you're going to want to try to move up here more into acceptance and love and reason. Okay. This is a great chart. Like I say, I'm just going to load it up here so that you have it. You can print it out. I'm sure you've seen these. They are probably a little more fancy than this, but I like it because I can look here. If I happen to have something come up, um, say from your past, okay, because usually this is where this stuff comes from, shame and guilt and all of this. We're not happy, we don't feel that necessarily in this moment. It typically comes from another time, okay? And so that's where we get into the blame, shame, guilt of what we have done in our past, okay? Now, the biggest thing is we honestly do not need to dwell on the past, okay? The only moment we have is right here, right now, okay? No matter what we did 20 years ago, we're still right here, right now. There's absolutely nothing you can change about that. Now you can accept it, okay? We have all made mistakes, but here's the one thing that I want you to know is that all of these struggles that we have been through, all of these challenges that we have faced in our lifetime have brought us to where we are at right now, okay? And how is that, right? We've all made mistakes, but what did it do? It taught us and we learned from it, okay? And I know at times I had felt this. I had felt grief, fear, anger, pride, right? I feel like when I was younger, I was in some of these. I had a lot of shame and guilt. And honestly, I don't know where that came from necessarily because, well, maybe it's because I kind of had to teach myself a lot of things in my life. And so I was just really kind of, I guess it would be struggling, but I don't know. It was just survival because I didn't know any different, right? Now that I have become an energetic leadership coach, I am teaching people how to harness their vibration, okay, and how to increase it. One of the easiest ways I find is with sound healing, because anytime you have anything out of resonance within your body and I use some sound, what it does is it removes those blocks, it allows them to bubble up, and then we meaning me with instruments, can bring your body back into balance and harmony. Okay? So for me, one of the easiest ways is sound healing. Excuse me. Okay, I didn't mean to take some ice, but got it. Anyway, now also we can think about many things that have vibration. So you think about your food. Okay, so something that has been raised in the sun in a garden, if you go and you pick it immediately off the vine and you eat it, the vibration is higher and the frequency is higher because it is fresh. Now, I have heard that some apples that are in our grocery store have been picked over a year ago. Okay, so really, how much nutrients is in that, and how much is that raising your vibration when you eat it? Okay, now let's look at sugar. So if we eat sugar or something dense, we are going to feel low and dense, okay? So that's the thing. This expanded here means we're expansive. We're feeling lighter. We're not feeling low. We're not contracted, okay? Every time we feel lighter, our vibration is up, okay? When we're feeling lower and depressed and these types of things, your vibration is lower, okay? So there are a ton of things that can help get your vibration up. One, these sound clips. I have sound clips that I sell, okay? I do sound healing. I provide that. Also, working on diet and nutrition is a big one, okay? Fresh water, right? We're talking about spring water, filtered water, clean water. We don't want water with fluoride in it and all of these chemicals, okay? There are things in our foods that can bring our vibration down as well. Like I said, a fresh tomato off of a plant in your garden is going to have way more nutrients than an apple that was picked a year ago, okay? And so when we eat that and we put that into our body, we feel alive. It brings us life force energy, okay? And things can take our life force energy. Worry, shame, guilt, fear. Fear is one of the biggest ones that we deal with, you guys, okay? Just because things are going on out in the world doesn't mean we have to be fearful, okay? We can witness it. We can say, how can I prepare so that I can be covered and I know that I'm safe? That is the best way, instead of sitting in worry, okay? All of these are dense energies, okay? Also, you can get out into the sunlight, right? That's where we get most of our vitamin D, is from the sun. And the best time is in the morning, before the 10 to 2 time frame, when the rays are so intense. But we can be out there and get the sunlight and it actually activates our cooling system. If we are out there in the morning, it starts our body into kind of like a sunscreen effect, where our body is getting used to it. We don't have our sunglasses on because that's where the receptors are in our eyes, okay? So wearing sunglasses, honestly, is not all that great. And I'm not sure if you've heard about it. before, but I've been seeing more and more research about wearing sunglasses and how our vision is really poor because we wear sunglasses. Okay. We have these filters, codes, or cones and rods in our eyes that are designed specifically to prep our body for what we need. Also, it's good for the circadian rhythms, right? That's our sleep wake cycle. And if we are not sleeping well, then our vibration is going to be low because a lot of people get really depressed when they're not sleeping well, right? Things kind of seem hopeless at times, okay? So really what we're trying to do is do everything we can to keep our vibration up. Some are very simple. One is get out in the sun every day for 20 minutes in the morning without sunglasses, okay? It's prepping your body. Start trying to eat better vibrating, higher vibrating foods. These are, yes, meats can be eaten. I have seen a lot of things talking about how the carnivore diet is so good for us. So it just depends. Everyone is a little different, right? I am a huge carnivore because I have a type O blood type and I need a lot of iron. And so for me, I know that's what helps me. I also eat a lot of fresh vegetables that come right out of, the garden. I have found some local farms around here for good eggs and fresh food that I am seeing literally grown out back. And I know it's only been picked a day or so ago. Okay. Also, it's great I know that I have some friends that love the ocean. So if you love the ocean, it's great to get in there because all of these codes that are coming in from the sun, right? They're getting into the water. They are in the land. And when we get in that water, we benefit from all of these light codes that are coming in from the sun. Okay? That raises our vibration. Getting in nature, eating better, drinking better water, more pure and clean. If you can get spring water, that's excellent. Taking some supplements if you think that you need them. Right? We're always trying to get off of the medications if we can, but that may take some guidance and that takes time. And I have found that when I was in my burnout phase. I used to work in healthcare and I did get completely burnt out and my frequency was in the toilet, okay? And a lot of it was because I was stressing my nervous system out. I was drinking a ton of caffeine. I was your Starbucks chick every morning. I had 4 shots. And I would probably have a Diet Coke within there. And then later in the afternoon, because I worked 12-hour shifts, I would have another coffee of probably not as much caffeine, but still enough that when I was stressed and racing around all day working in a very busy trauma hospital, I was just burning through that caffeine, but it was also burning out my my system. And I found, honestly, that some of those places like Starbucks, non-organic coffee is terrible. And Dunkin' Donuts, I used to go there and I used to get the extra boost shot. I don't know what it was called, but oh my goodness, it would make me feel so frazzled and just like, whoa, just worn out too. Like it was crazy. So you guys, I have been through a lot of it, with the shame, the guilt, the fear, the not so much anger. I don't really feel that I get all that angry. But, some of these things take courage to keep moving up this chain and to work on yourself and to say, hey, I want more. I don't want to be in this low vibration. I choose to vibrate higher. And how can I do that? Right? We talked about it. Okay. Sound healing. Do you know what sound healing has helped me do? I mean, 6 years ago, you guys, I was completely burnt out. I could not get out of bed hardly for 2 years. I would get up, I would work out, and I would have to go back to bed. It took me 2 years to recover. So I am very conscious about what I'm putting in my body, what I'm putting in my mind, because we can put things in our head, right? What do you think an anxiety attack is? It's just like, oh, right? We're just so wound up and nothing is literally happening to you at the time. Okay? So it's time to just come back in, calm it down, look within, look at everything you're doing, what you have going on. This is not for judgment. This is to say, I want a better life and I want more for me. I want to vibrate higher, right? I've done that where I was completely wiped out because I was over giving of myself. And of course, in the hospital, I mean, those people really needed me and they really appreciated me, but I was also a mom and a wife, and I had to keep the household up. I was completely fried, and I am not willing to go back to that, okay? So you may want to ask yourself, some of these questions as you're grabbing food to put into your body. If it comes out of a package, it's probably not that great. Something fresh would be better. And we all know this, you guys, okay? I'm not here to lecture you on what to eat because I think we mostly know that we should eat the apple instead of the apple pie, okay? But what happens is our mindset, our emotions get in the way, because guess what? I would automatically do that. If I saw somebody die, if I was helping in a trauma or something and somebody died, you know what I wanted to do? The first thing, I would go get a Diet Coke. And that was awful. That was awful. But I just saw something awful and it just kind of helped soften the blow, I guess, a little bit. But what it was doing was hurting me, right? Just all of that caffeine. And I have recently cut out caffeine again because I will have a tendency to slip back into it if I have like a little low level anxiety, okay? And we all have, come on, we're not perfect, right? We don't really know what's happening out in the world right now, okay? And so there's a lot of chaos going on, right? So what does that cause? It causes a low level anxiety. And so I already know that. And so I know that my first thing that I'm gonna wanna go to is Diet Coke. And I know I know that it's not that great for me, okay? Right? So I am constantly trying to work on that. What is this low level anxiety telling me? Why do I have it and where does it come from? So that's where I start. And I have, I'll get cravings, I'll get all of these things, but I know it's not good for me because when I am calm and balanced, I don't have those energetic anxiety attacks or feeling like the world is ending or the spinning thoughts, okay? This is what happens with caffeine too, you guys. It is not that great for us. Okay. Yes, it helps us get up and get moving, but do you know what they say? Like one of the best type of caffeines to take is just black coffee. And we know there's a lot of older people that drink it, but I just can't seem to get into it. It's like I would rather go without. So I have found alternatives to help raise my vibration over time. And once I was able to overcome the burnout, actually, I didn't find sound healing until I overcame burnout. But guess what? I was still working on clearing up my thyroid. I was on thyroid medication, and a lot of it had to do with the stress, the amount of anxiety I was under, the amount of pressure, and all of this caffeine was taxing my thyroid. So when I worked in the hospital, was on massive amounts of thyroid. In fact, my naturopath was a little leery because she was like, oh, you know, I don't want you to end up with osteoporosis because your thyroid is so high. But guess what? Guess what? When I started sound healing, now I started going to sound healing to calm my nervous system. But guess what happened? I have gone 1 day a week, every week for the last 4 years. Okay, maybe if I go on vacation, maybe I'll miss 1 or 2, but it has not been that much. Once a week, okay? I was slowly able to wean myself off of thyroid medication, okay? I worked with my doctor, right? We don't just do this randomly, especially thyroid, okay? I was able to completely get off of my thyroid medication. I found that, of course, it helped my nervous system so much. I am so much more calm. And I'm still pretty hyper, you guys, but I'm pretty calm compared to what I used to be. And let's see what else. Let's see, there was one more thing, but anyway, it'll come to me. So what I wanted to tell you guys is this is so important about the small little things that we take for granted that are influencing our lives, okay? Food, like I say, is a big one. Oh yes, oh, I wanted to tell you about the sound. I knew it'd come to me. On the sound healing, my vision started to improve. Now, I did not go here. I wasn't going to sound healing for that, but it just ended up being a side bonus. And it is slowly, I do have this rare eye condition called keratoconus. It's where the shape of the center of my eye kind of grows out into a cone, so it distorts my vision. And since I have been doing sound healing, that is kind of flattening and pulling back in and changing my vision. So it's about time to go get my eyes checked again, and I can't wait to see. So, you know, these are easy things. The thing that's so great about sound healing is, well, I'm usually the one doing it, but I will go sometimes and have it done for me now. And it's the easiest thing because you get to lay there. It's only 1 hour and it is for you, okay? So what I want for you guys is, you know, I want you to live an easier life and get out of all of these limiting beliefs, worthiness, shame, guilt, anything like that. It is time to start raising our vibration, and that is how we can do it. Okay, so that's what I've got to you today, for you guys today, is to work on this vibrational chart, okay, and see where you're at. Also, I wanted to let you know I'm starting the Embracing the Divine Feminine, a journey back to self. It starts June 2nd, so that will be posted here. Also, this is what will be covered, okay? So this is a 12-week course. It talks about what do I want, right? I'm meeting you where you are at as the divine feminine, right? We are not the broken feminine anymore. We are the divine feminine. She is rising. We are rising. And you're seeing more and more women in power, okay? It is time for us to stand up and stand in our power. And I will show you how to do that, how to go after what you want, okay? All right, guys, it's been great, and I will see you soon. I would love to see some comments below. Let me know what you think. And also let me know if you're dealing with anything on something that seems to keep your vibration low. I have some tips and tricks for you, and maybe I can help out, okay? Talk to you soon. Bye.